What's going on, aviators? Welcome back to yet another video, and today I've got another unboxing. Yes, exciting. So basically right where we left off last week when I was doing the unboxing of that little guy right there, the KLM City Hopper E190. If you haven't seen that, please make sure to go check it out. I'll put a link in the description and I'll also put up a little card. Make sure you go and check that out. That's not only just a unboxing, that's also like a channel update kind of video. But today I'm gonna get into the unboxing of this bad boy. Now, it's a big box. It looks like you could have like three models at the maximum in there, right? 2 models at the minimum, let's say. But again, I've actually only got 1 model, which I'm gonna show you guys in a minute. If you haven't watched the last video, I recommend you go and watch that one first, because then you'll understand why I got this model. But anyways, yes, let's get into opening up the box. And so guys, I just got the box open. I put it on the side. A lot of packing, that's why it was huge. But anyways, the model we got today is this Condor Boeing 757-300. Alright, so this is actually a 2014 release, as you can see there on the bottom of the box. And if my calculations are correct, that would make this my second oldest model behind that guy right there, which is the Lufthansa Star Alliance A321, which I think is a 2013 release. I'm not sure. I think it's a 2013 release. But anyways, this is a 2014 release. You can even see how that the box is slightly different. I don't know why, I just know you can also see that the box is old and stuff. So anyways, let's get into it. Alright, so typical Gemini Jets box, even for the time, you know, you open up the little pan flip and you've got information about the Boeing 757-300 or 757-200, whichever one you want to call it. It's kind of a 757 in general. Information about the aircraft specifically, and then you got the model there. Hopefully it's not broken. Then we have these as real as it gets features, which are also displayed on the back of the box. Again, let's hope these features are aligned with the plane. And I think they will be. Gemini Jets did a sensational job on that little guy there. But let's see how they do with this dude right here. So that was kind of the box. It's, again, as I said, typical Gemini Jets box. It's a bit beat up and stuff, you know, rips there and stuff. Yeah, there's like a big cut right here at the back of the box as well. But I can understand that, and at the end of the day, this is just the box. So let's get into the model. Okay guys, so here is the model. It is, this 757-300 it's a lot longer than the 757-200. Alright, so let me just get something here. Okay, I'm going to be using the end of the scissors to kind of point and stuff at the plane. So here we have the L1 boarding door. And then we have these other doors that the 757 has. They have these 2 emergency doors in the middle, which I don't think the 200 has. I'm not too sure. And then we have the registration, which is Delta Alpha Bravo Oscar Juliet. Obviously that means it's a German aircraft in the Thomas Cook livery. You can even see it says Thomas Cook right there, which is a livery. I actually like the livery. That heart on the back is pretty cool. So yes, if you didn't watch the last video, I mentioned that I was going to be building an airport in Germany. That's why I would need a Condor, because Condor is basically like a German kind of charter holiday airline, like Thomas Cook used to be for England. And I chose to get this model because I was going to have flights, despite being a business airport, I was going to kind of have flights to a couple of holiday destinations, which include like Athens and Greece, other places in Greece and stuff, Cyprus, and also Spain. So this Condor will be in charge of flights to those destinations. Just have a quick look here at the other side. Everything looking good here. yeah, everything looking good. Obviously there you got the cockpit windows and stuff. I love the 757s. I love how I really think they're really cool, kind of narrow body aircraft. I like to think of them as, you know, big A321s. I don't know, that's what I think of them as. But anyways, yes, this is the model, and we've also got the landing gear here. This is not rolling landing gear, all right? So it's not rolling. The engines, I don't think these engines are too big. I think they're the right size. But it'll be interesting to compare them, but it looks like, yeah, they are the right size. So, yes, thankfully the plane didn't come broken and stuff. And yes, I will see you guys at the next segment of this video, which is basically going to be me rating this model. Okay guys, so at this point in the video, I'm now going to kind of assess this model. Basically, I'm going to be giving it a rating out of 10. I'm going to be rating it on the following. So first of all, I'm going to be looking at mold quality. So how good is this mold, and is it really kind of as real as it gets, or are there some inaccuracies? Details, I want to look at, you know, is the plane detailed? Does the model have the features that a real Condor 757-300 would have? Then I want to look at the landing gear, probably one of the most important things of a 1-400 die-cast model. Damages. Is the plane damaged? Are there any visible damages that we can see? And then last but not least, I want to analyze the paint job. Is there any, you know, how good is the paint? Is the paint kind of aligned and stuff? So yeah, I'm going to be looking at those 5 things. Okay guys, so now I'm going to start off with the first step, which is the mold quality. Alright, so looking at this mold, it looks really good. It looks like a proper 757-300. Again, this is my first 757 aircraft, so I don't really have anything else to compare it with. But yes, this looks like a really nice mold. The nose looks particularly good. The nose looks excellent. The engines, I'm pretty sure, are the right size. The plane looks perfectly at the perfect height off the ground. It doesn't look like it's too high or anything. The size is excellent and stuff, so I think they definitely nailed the mold. So for Gemini Jets, I am going to be giving the mold out of 10. I'm going to be giving this mold a 9 out of 10. And the reason why not a 10 out of 10 is because I just do not like the fact that there aren't any antennas on top. And yeah, I kind of prefer the plane when it has antennas, but that's the only reason why it's not a 10 out of 10. Alright guys, so next up is the details. The details on this model, again, spectacular. I just wish they could have included antennas, because that's also going to be, you know, the detail score is also going to be affected because of the fact that there aren't any antennas. But the details are really nice. The fuselage is excellent. Again, I even like how they put these little things up here. Let me just, you know, these things, which just take it to a whole new level. The paint scheme is very detailed, and even the wing, the paint that they put there on the wing and stuff, it just makes it look like a real aircraft. Engines look spectacular. They've even got these little numbers here on the bottom. So the details, again, you know, a real 757 would have antennas. And I noticed that newer Gemini Jets planes do have those antennas, but this one here doesn't, which is slightly disappointing. I prefer antennas than not. I think it makes the plane look a hell of a lot nicer. So oops. Okay. So I think for this model, I'm gonna give it for details, I'm gonna give it a total score of 8 out of 10. Simply by the fact that there are no antennas, which kind of does disappoint me. But anyways, yes, let's get with the other part. Okay guys, so now I'm going to get onto the landing gear, which unfortunately this is where the model kind of slips. It was doing very well with the first two, but now that I have to mention landing gear, it's not doing very well. And I'll show you why. So basically I'm going to move this plane right over here, right where we can kind of have a proper look, right down there at the landing gear. Okay, so as you can see, right there, on the front, I'm just gonna get it to focus. Alright, so if you can see there on the front, the landing gear there, it's not actually touching the ground, which means it's uneven. And this is also a problem here at the back as well. Again, probably very difficult, but yeah, to see, but yeah, it's that one there, if I can get it to focus. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to see, but alright, here we might have a good view. It's, yeah, the one in there, the back one right there, it's slightly uneven. So, I don't know if you guys can see it, but you can see that we've got two uneven tires. And also by the fact that this is not rolling landing gear, which I would much rather prefer rolling landing gear than not. So unfortunately, for the landing gear, which I thought was pretty poor, I'm gonna have to give it a, I'm gonna give this model a 5 out of 10 in terms of the landing gear. The reason why not lower is because the landing gear is somewhat realistic and it does resemble a 757 landing gear. So on the bright side, you can take that into consideration. Okay guys, so now I'm going to get onto the landing gear, which unfortunately this is where the model kind of slips. It was doing very well with the first two, but now that I have to mention landing gear, it's not doing very well. And I'll show you why. So basically I'm going to move this plane right over here, right where we can kind of have a proper look, right down there at the landing gear. Okay, so as you can see, right there, on the front, I'm just gonna get it to focus. Alright, so if you can see there on the front, the landing gear there, it's not actually touching the ground, which means it's uneven. And this is also a problem here at the back as well. Again, probably very difficult, but yeah, to see, but yeah, it's that one there, if I can get it to focus. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to see, but alright, here we might have a good view. It's, yeah, the one in there, the back one right there, it's slightly uneven. So, I don't know if you guys can see it, but you can see that we've got two uneven tires. And also by the fact that this is not rolling landing gear, which I would much rather prefer rolling landing gear than not. So unfortunately, for the landing gear, which I thought was pretty poor, I'm gonna have to give it a, I'm gonna give this model a 5 out of 10 in terms of the landing gear. The reason why not lower is because the landing gear is somewhat realistic and it does resemble a 757 landing gear. So on the bright side, you can take that into consideration. Okay, so the next part is damages, and to be fair, this plane, it fared pretty well. There aren't many damages. There might, the only thing I can see here, or the only couple of things I can see here, are very minor. I don't know if you guys can see, but if I can get it to focus, there's a little scratch right under here. It's not focusing, but yeah, there's a little scratch. Let me try and turn it this way so you guys can see it. Okay. If you guys can see, there's a little scratch under there, which is not supposed to be there. And there's also another problem here which is that for some reason the paint got a little bit, you know, can you see those little dots over about like here? Which I just find a little bit weird. But other than that, it's basically just those two. There aren't any damages here on the print and stuff. So I'm gonna end up giving it a 6 out of 10 in terms of damages. Okay, so last but not least, we have the paint job. Now, the paint job. Okay, so as you guys saw from the last shot, it had that little weird thing right there. So that's obviously going to take. I'm always going to take that into consideration. In general, the paint is pretty nice. As you can see, the tail, and there's also not much to paint. As you can see, it's mostly a white aircraft with a kind of silverish, kind of grayish tail. There isn't that much to paint, which I'm also going to be taking consideration because if the model, alright, so let's take that KLM for example, which I unboxed last week. That model, it's blue, so you've got, it's not just white. It's not just a white model. So obviously, if they screw that up, it's not as bad as them screwing up a completely white model, or taking into account how hard it is to paint this particular model. And I would say this is kind of relatively easy, not that hard, but not textbook. This is relatively easy. As I said, white body with a kind of typical Euro white, a white body and some little paint job at the tail. So not that hard to paint. Obviously the logo is just fine there. Not the logo, but Condor is just fine there. The cockpit windows are also just fine. Over here to this side, the engine, the paint on the engines is also pretty good. On the wing, it's decent. It's pretty good. Now it just gets bad right here. So if you look carefully right there, there seems to be a little bit of an excess paint on the yellow side, and it also seems like over here, oops, just got out of focus, over there, perfect. It seems like the yellow paint has kind of bled into the gray paint, which is a little bit disappointing, and that's obviously gonna contribute to a relatively lower score, because honestly, for it to do that, it's not acceptable. I'm not gonna have a rant about it, but it's just a little bit annoying that if you look at it from an overview, you can just see there's excess paint on the yellow side, and over here on, just trying to get my finger, over here on this side, the yellow paint has kind of bled into the silver one. Which is a bit disappointing, but that's okay. It's minor. But the tail, on the other hand, the tail is just fine. The registration, they did it well. So yeah, and then so I think I'm gonna have to give a for this, because of that, which was a little bit disappointing, and also because of that, I'm gonna have to give this another 5 for the paint job. Okay guys, so according to my calculation, the total is 28. So 28 out of 50, which would put this at an average model, a little bit above average, but basically we'll call it an average model, which is what it is. I mean, it's a nice model. It's not a disaster. But it's definitely not something that I would say, oh wow, that's the best model I've ever seen. Certainly not that, but certainly not a disaster. Nothing was broken and stuff. Obviously the main issues here was the landing gear, which was a big one, as well as the inconsistencies with the paint and the slight damages, like that scratch and that thing there. And yes guys, that pretty much wraps it up for the video. Make sure you guys go and subscribe, like, share this video, comment and stuff, and also subscribe to me on Instagram at FinestAviator. The link will be down below. Peace.